Yeah, well, good. It works out well. You didn't get the memo. It's, as always, Black Shirt Day here.
Yeah, no, I did not. I've been repping my pseudo alma mater for like a lot of days in a row because, you should know this by now,
Yeah.
I haven't done my laundry.
Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, before
Yeah.
we hop in, Dad,
Yes.
let's mention Deal School, link down below. And in addition to Deal School, our market price report is just a couple weeks away from going live. And the market price report has a negotiability score that tells you how likely the dealer is to negotiate on a car deal. We have a suggested offer price for every single vehicle that you enter into the Your Auto Advocate platform. It'll tell you what you should make your first offer for. There's even, Dad, I know your favorite part, Ray's recommendation, right? Which is just beautiful. And so go down, click the link below, yourautoadvocate.com, request early access. We're a couple weeks away.
And my recommendation is, if you want a good steak, Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse, Cincinnati, Ohio, the best steak dinner Zach and I have ever had.
Thank you, Pops. Okay.
Send them an invoice.
All right, so let's hop into our kind of weekly update on the car market. Thanks again to our dear friends who probably have no clue that we make these videos over at BlackBook. You should know by now,
Yes.
BlackBook is one of the premier research arms in the automotive industry. That's just what they do, is they aggregate data and then they sell it to dealers, dealer groups, industry people, and we find the way to get our hands on it and share it with you. And so, Dad, what's the most recent update from the team over at BlackBook?
Well, this is their COVID-19 market insights dated 9/22. I believe 9/22 was yesterday. So, well, yesterday, depending on what day you might see this, or day.
How about this? I will edit this video ASAP, and we will either get it up today or tomorrow. So we will get it out.
Okay, and have you fired the editors yet?
Volatile.
Yeah. My God. Okay, so here's what's going on. Here's a quick recap of the industry-related headlines for the week. Wholesale prices showed declines again last week, with the overall average market experiencing a negative adjustment for the second week in a row. Full-size trucks, it should come as no surprise, continue to see strong prices for the 17th week in a row. My guess is that when we do this next week, that'll be 18 weeks in a row. Overall wholesale sold volume in August is below 2019 levels, but the performance of different channels varied, with some underperforming versus the previous year. Retail listing prices increased again last week, unfortunately, and they are now about 3% above where they were when we started in January.
So can we hit on that for a second, Dad? Because so we have had wholesale prices declining for now almost 3 weeks in a row, but retail prices still inching their way up. It just doesn't compute for me. Why would that be happening? Is it because dealers are stubborn to not want to discount inventory that they overpaid for?
Well, I think it's because there's a couple of reasons, and one is, yes, they've overpaid for it, but there's still a shortage of pre-owned inventory. Even though it's increasing slightly, it's still well below where dealers typically would like it to be. And yes, dealers have paid dearly for the used car inventory that they have, and probably for at least the first 60, perhaps 75, up to 90 days, they're going to try their best to maximize whatever profit they might be able to make on those cars that they overpaid for. My suspicion is that on all these cars that they paid a lot for, they're going to try, and then suddenly we're going to see them be willing to either reduce the prices, take a slight loss, lower their profit margin, because they're going to need to turn those cars into cash again so that they can replenish them with cars that are less expensive to purchase in the first place. So, yes, I agree with you. It doesn't seem to make sense that wholesale prices keep going down, but retail prices keep going up. But yes, dealers are stubborn, and they're going to try and ride that gravy train as long as they can. Used retail listing volume continued to increase from August, but it's still 6% below last year. So you can see that there's just, as I like to say, a dearth of used car inventory available.
However, it's getting better, right? I mean, 6%.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing dealerships being able to source more cars now. There are more cars that are coming into the market. The lease returns. Banks have gone back to actually repossessing cars again. The rental fleets are reducing their fleets, so they're defleeting. So with all that, we're starting to see more cars become available, which is why we have seen over the past two and a half to 3 weeks, small declines in the wholesale values of most vehicles other than full-size pickup trucks. Good news is that consumer sentiment, as measured by the University of Michigan, has increased slightly from August, but stayed well below pre-COVID levels. The Federal Reserve has suggested that things are a little bit better than what they thought it was, but they also have stated that if there isn't some extra stimulus from the government, that all these unemployment gains or job gains could be temporary and short-lived. So there's still a lot going on in the market that can negatively impact the positives that we've seen.
And that all implicates the longer-term future for the used car market and the new car market as well. Like when we think of 6, 12, 18 months down the line, what implications will consumer sentiment have on that, unemployment have on that, ongoing and continued government support have on that? In the near term, the trend is now, I think, clear as day that wholesale prices have hit that, we've said it for a few weeks now, right when it first started to happen, wholesale prices have hit their pinnacle and they're working their way back down. What could be an accelerant to that and what could truly really influence on the retail side as well are these macro big picture things as well. If consumer sentiment tanks, if people end up being in economic hardship, you end up in a position where dealerships aren't going to have a lot of inventory that they want to be, sitting on. They're going to just,
yes,
I don't want to say fire sale, but I mean, you got to get rid of stuff. You're losing money every day it sits there, and yeah, it's going to be as your favorite airplane quote. I mean, it's going to hit the fan, and then stuff's going to happen. Things are going to be volatile.
Regardless of how you might spell it. Oh, God. One other thing, dealers are seeing the demand at many of the dealerships falter for pre-owned cars, which is typical for this time of year. And they expect a continued downward trend in used car pricing through the end of this year and through the first half of next year. So, there are things that ultimately will end up causing retail prices to go down. We're probably still a little bit away from that, but I would think next month into November and December, and obviously through the first half. I mean, typically from having done this for 43 years, I can tell you that either January or February every year was going to be the slowest month of the year in the retail automobile business. So knowing that the first quarter is usually pretty bad, we're going to see prices eventually through the end of this year and through the first quarter of next year finally see some significant decrease in retail pricing on the used car side. Something that I found interesting, for those full-size truck people, GMC Sierra 1500 and the Chevy Silverado 1500 are both like to have their day supply between 75 and 90 days.
Sure.
And right now they're running at 20 to 26 days.
I'm glad you brought that up, Deb, because the market price report, which is coming out next week, 2 weeks from now, whenever you're watching this, okay, one of the things that it provides is for your area. So let's say, so the way that it works is you enter a VIN or the browser extension, which is coming out probably about a month from now. You could be on Car Gurus and you could, just click on my dad's face and it'll give you a report right there. Yeah, that's a good smile.
Yes.
But like, so you enter a VIN for, let's say, name one of the trucks again. GMC, which one? Sierra?
GMC Sierra 1500.
Perfect. You enter a VIN for that and what the market price report's going to do. And again, this is what we've been working on for months now. And some of you have contributed and joined us on screen share calls, which is really fun. You enter in the VIN for that GMC Sierra 1500 and it's going to take and find all the other GMC Sierra 1500s that are in a 50-mile radius of that one and tell you the average amount of time that they've been sitting on dealers' lots versus the average amount of time, or the amount of time that specific one has been sitting on the dealer's lot. So it's not rocket science. We just made it so that then my dad's face with the text next to it says, hey, this one's been on the lot for 200 days. The current supply, market day supply in your region is 25, 26, like you were just describing. So from a big picture standpoint, we want to be in a position where when we have these weekly updates, we're not only sharing the big, from BlackBook, but then also go back to yourautoadvocate.com and use the reports, 2-3 weeks from now so that you can actually put this into practice.
So if I hear what you're saying correctly, what we're doing on a weekly basis, in another 2 to 3 weeks, people will actually be able to do on a real-time basis at Your Auto Advocate with your pricing tool.
My hope, Dad, is that especially once the browser extension launches, and I'll put up a little screenshot or a snippet of what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's literally a little icon will be on top of the vehicle image, and it's my dad's face, and it says generate report. I want everyone, when they're researching cars and watching Netflix at the same time, to just be clicking on that face, right? And you should have those insights. You should know how long the vehicle's been on the lot, what your offer price should be, what's the market day supply in your region. Because if you pair that with then the macro information, the weekly updates we do here on YouTube, knock on wood, our whole idea is then you can be more empowered as you go to reach out to that dealer. Go to Deal School, download the template email that my dad suggests you use for the initial outreach. I don't know. Hopefully it's all coming full circle for everyone that's been a part of this from the start. It's kind of neat to think that your GMC Sierra example, Dad, that 1500, yeah, that's what the market day supply is in the nation. What is it in Nashville, Tennessee? What is it in Asheville, North Carolina? I'm trying to think of another ville. What is it in Greenville, South Carolina? What is it in
Pleasantville, New Jersey? Boom! There's a lot of vills, buddy.
I feel like there's a Stevensville. Okay, if you've made it to this part of the video, comment down below a ville. Surprise, Ray.
Or give us your favorite ville.
Yeah, give us your favorite ville. Okay, I feel like we've given the update, we've given the spiel about what we're building. We've talked about geography, which is a topic near and dear to my heart. Yourgeographyadvocate.com. Don't know if that exists. We'll go by that domain name right now. Dad, I'm happy about this video. I hope you are too. Feel good?
Me too. I do have to say one thing before we sign off. That if this video will be posted either today or tomorrow, let's wish your sister Dara a happy birthday. Dara will be 27 on the 24th. You add them together, that's 51. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything, but happy birthday, Dara. We love you.
But yeah, let's make sure. We'll have this video go out tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dara. I promise it's on my to-do list to buy you a card, so I will make sure I do that today.
Yeah, as well you should.
All right,
nice talking to you, handsome.
I love you.
I love you too. I'll talk to you later.